the number one retirement trap that I've seen people fall into. And I've been a fee-only financial advisor for over 20 years. So believe me, I've seen just about everything. But this one tends to be the most costly and the most painful for people when they look back. It leads to regret. And I don't want that to happen to you. So let's go for a walk and I'll share with you the number one trap. And I won't bury the lead. I'll get straight to it. The number one trap is when people have enough money to retire. They've worked hard. They've won. They've done the savings. They've sacrificed. And they've done a good job of building up their retirement savings. They've done everything right. And now it comes to actually pulling the trigger, and psychologically it's hard. So the number one trap is when they've won, but they don't grab that brass ring and acknowledge that they've won and take the fruits of their labor. And again, I don't want to see that happen to you. So let's talk about it. Why does this happen? And why is it so common? And then why does it lead to regret? You know, one of the reasons that it happens is just there's a lot of reasons to continue to work, even once you've gotten your financial goal, right? But a lot of those, at some point, you're going to have to make the transition. And a big one, if you're an American, is our health care comes from our jobs. So oftentimes people continue to work because their health care insurance, I should say, their health care insurance is provided by their employer. And they say, you know, I just don't want to pay for my own health care insurance. Well, as a financial advisor, just like any other expense, you know, I don't want to pay for a new car every 7 or 10 years, and they're used cars for me. But, you know, my employer doesn't pay for those, so I have to pay for them. You know, I don't want to pay for a roof repair on my house, but my employer doesn't pay for that. And just like your financial advisor can budget for a car and can budget for a new roof every 20, 25 years, a financial advisor can budget for your healthcare insurance costs. So that's one reason that people do it. Another one is it can be a death by 1,000 cuts. You know, companies line up. Oftentimes we earn our bonus at the end of the year, but it doesn't get paid until February, let's say. And if you're not an employee, when the bonus gets paid, some of us are going to lose out on that. So there's the February bonus, and then maybe in July our 401k match comes out. Many people get their 401k match earlier. For me, mine comes out in the summertime. So, you know, we've got January for our bonus, we've got July for a 401k bonus, and then maybe there's a company trip that the top people in the company get invited to, and it's, you know, to some Caribbean island that you and your spouse like going to, and that's in October. So we've got January, we've got July, we've got October. There's always something that we can be waiting for to say, oh, I don't want to leave now. I don't want to leave now. And while the 4 most dangerous words for a soon-to-be retiree or a could-be retiree is just one more year, those are the 4 most dangerous words. You know, it comes in increments of months too. And if you stack together these months and you wait until that Caribbean trip in October, well, then bonus season is right around the corner. And then the 401k match, and on it goes. So one of the secrets to happiness, I think, and to embracing your retirement and getting on with your journey is being willing to say no to making more money. It's hard. We've worked our whole lives. For many of us, myself included, I think, you know, when I was 17, 18, and in my early 20s, I think how hard I had to work to make money, right? I was exchanging my time for money. And I did hard physical labor. And you know what? Frankly, at that age, I enjoyed doing it. But I think of how hard I had to work for my salary back then. And now, you know, you're probably been in your job for 20, 30, 40 years. You're good at your job. It's fun. You enjoy the people that you work with, and that's great. But there's also balance. And I talked about the regret. I have seen the regret that, you know, unfortunately, all of us are just one cancer diagnosis, one heart attack, one stroke away from not being able to fully take advantage of what I call the youth of our senior years. And unfortunately, for those of us that are 60 and above, if you're 60 years old, you likely have less than 1,000 weeks of healthy, active time in front of you. So yes, it's easy to work one more year, but remember what you're taking away. What the price of that is not necessarily, that, oh, you've got to go to work. And for some of us, that is a pain. But for others of us that enjoy what we do, the price that you pay for one more year of work is, 55%. 5% fewer healthy, active years in retirement. And these are likely going to be your healthiest and your most active years. So I want to encourage you to optimize on life, optimize on taking full advantage of the youth of your senior years, as opposed to optimizing on your bank account. Okay. Now, so why do we fall trapped to this? Why is it so common? I'm fortunate. I work with people that have done a good job of saving their money, that are committed to being financially secure and building a strong retirement. And, most of my clients are very successful in their careers. So why do people that are really smart and are really good at what they do, why do they do really stupid things? Like continuing to give up something that's really important, 50 weeks of healthy, active time in retirement. Why do really smart people make that trade-off, giving up those 50 healthy, active weeks for something that they don't need if they're already financially independent, if they're more than financially independent? So why do we do it? And frankly, a video like this talks to the head, but what I'm really trying to do is get to your heart and get you to think about these things. Because the first one is, this is not a mistake of the brain. This is not first off, not fully grasping the magnitude of what you're giving up to work one more year, what you're giving up to save another 10, 20, 50, even $100,000. What's the cost of that, right? And that's a heart issue, is understanding. Let's say you and your spouse have these big dreams you'd like to do in retirement. Well, that's a big cost. And if you're the one that continues to work and your spouse is waiting on you, and you're the one that unfortunately gets a stroke or a heart attack or a cancer diagnosis, guess who's likely going to be taking care of you? Your spouse. And they may, and I've seen this, they may resent the fact that you gave up something really important in order to gain something that doesn't matter, if you have more than enough money. Another thing I've talked about a lot on my channel, there's a lot of videos on it, is your identity. Giving up your identity at work can be hard. But again, there's people that can help you with that. A good fee-only financial advisor is not only a good financial coach, but they're also a good life coach. And they can help you make decisions both of the head and of the heart. And if your financial advisor is not that type of person, that's fine. But find yourself a good life coach. The life coaches exist out there. Okay, so that's the biggest sacrifice. I don't want to see that happen to you. Related, I want you to watch this video, which talks about 8 things to stop doing as you approach 60 to enjoy life more. I'll see you in there.